going into our losers finals match for SCS 198. The winner of this tournament will be moving on to the grand finals to play against Leggy Lepidopter Leviathan. The loser will be eliminated. First off, for red team, the Fancy Cloud Dancers, as we get a very fast pause being called from the from blue team. It seems we have the Dust Rider, Stormbreaker with Mine Launcher on the front, Lumberjack, Gatling, and Light Flak. Their ally, the Rontonkin, another Stormbreaker, Artemis Minotaur, Gatling, Light Flak. Their opponents, the Skyborne Rangers. You have the Snortstoop Bopstop, Judgment, Lumberjack, Mercury, Light Flak, and Minotaur, paired with the Victor Magnuson, Magnate, piloted by Sunstrom. Left side, Lumberjack, Hades, Light Flak. Right side, Gatling Mortar, and Watcha. And as teams rotate around the map and look for spots, I do want to take a second look at what FCD is bringing to this match. Not your traditional close range, high DPS Stormbreaker build. We see almost like a split assortment of weapons here, operating in multiple ranges. Lumberjack for long range control, Mine Launcher for close range control, paired with the Gatling. And then similarly, the Rontonkin kitted out to operate both at close and long range. They are giving up a little bit of trifecta damage in the builds that they are bringing, but it lets them operate in multiple ranges, sort of in the same way that a Shrike would. These are very Shrike-style builds on these Stormbreakers. So I will be curious to see how this works out. Traditionally, long-range ships, the two things that matter, aside from just damage and accuracy and long range, in terms of which ships are bringing in, which ships are really the factors that go into which ships are good at long range. The amount of armor and health your ship has. Tankier ships that can last longer under sustained fire. In a long-range fight, you're often just kind of going back and forth, picking each other off, rather than getting fast kills. So a ship that can just win out through attrition can be very powerful. That's what we used to see with the Galleon back when that was popular. It's what we see now with the Judgment. Junker as well, to some extent, as a high armor ship. But also mobility is something that can be very important in long range fights. You consider mobility as a kind of an aggressive stat. Like, you have a ship like a Stormbreaker or a Squid, you want to get up in the enemy's face, you want to get in their blind spot, outmaneuver them at close range, but at long range as well, high mobility means you can dodge a lot of the incoming fire. The faster you move around, the more of those shots you could at least theoretically dodge. I feel like hasn't been going so well for Fancy Cloud Dancers thus far, but theoretically, that's what we've seen historically with the Mobula. It's one of the reasons that the Mobula has been a very strong long-range ship, is because of the vertical acceleration lets it move up and down and dodge a lot of the incoming fire in a way that some of the tankier ships I was just talking about are unable to do so. So you're effectively trading armor for dodging capability. Now, in the Stormbreaker's case, you're trading away a lot of armor because these are very squishy ships. So anytime they take any armor damage whatsoever, they pretty much have to disengage. So the Rontonkin's just going for it. I really do not think this is going to work out well. You see some unarmed Light Flaks on unbroken armor, which is probably not where you want to be. Armor now on Rontonkin is down. Light Flaks from the Snortstoop able to finish them off. And now Dust Riders probably got disengaged. They're not gonna be able to solo either of these two ships with the gun combination that they're bringing. And if we're being real here, I'm just gonna have a period of realness on the stream. Oh, hey, never mind. Screw realness. Rontonkin's just spawning here on the Snortstoop. Victor Magnuson is totally out of position. Nowhere near. We might have a dual focus here. reality has left the building as now the two Stormbreakers moving in on the Blue Judgment. Stormstoop's backing up towards their ally, so hopefully Victor will be able to assist in a few moments here. Balloon is down. Armor down as well. Snortstoop at about 60% perma-hull. Next armor break here might be... I think it's probably going to outlast this Gatling. No, Gatling's able to finish it off. Light flak hits, able to get a kill in combination with the bottom of the map. Just maybe a bit of a lax... Oh, hey, well, Ron Tonkin's dead too. A bit of, I don't know, lax observance from the Skyborne Rangers to let the Ron Tonkin just spawn under them like that. And it does kind of work. They do, FCD does put a point on the board, but they trade away the Ron Tonkin in the process. And now Victor Magnuson, they are on blue side of the map. Dust Rider is doing good damage to the Magnate. And, well, there's a second point now, suddenly tied up. Red team, let's say what they lack in... what they lack in good weapon combinations, they make up for in tactics. I suppose. And now they've moved forward. They're trying to take control of blue team's spawn. Dust Rider is already spotted here. I'm sure they know where the Snortstoop is as well. And we're seeing some lumberjack shots coming out. One lumberjack shot going to the blue. Ron Tonkin's going... Wow, I didn't see this. Ron Tonkin has taken a path around the world. So they will eventually be in position to flank, and hopefully Dust Rider will still be alive at that point. Dust Rider doing some evasive flying with the Snortstoop following in tow. Both the blue ships are chasing Dust Rider to the edge of the map. I'm sure they are very well aware that the Ron Tonkin is up to something sneaky. However, because the Dust Rider is flying to the edge of the map, blue team is able to safely push them because they know that if they're heading in this direction, they're heading away from wherever the Ron Tonkin is. They don't have to worry about him too much. And as a result, Ron Tonkin was not able to catch up. They were just totally absent in that fight. It was an interesting strategy, but perhaps had to be a little bit better executed. They maybe the Dust Rider should have switched to evasive mode a little bit earlier because the Ron Tonkin was just so far away. And now Dust Rider is once again spawned by the wall. And moving in here. Hopefully this time he waits for his ally to regroup. Stormbreakers are pretty fast. That's true. They have fast charging speed. A little bit less since the most recent patch did have the forward top speed and forward acceleration was reduced slightly for the Stormbreaker. And now Dust Rider is spotted. Ron Tonkin's position is still unknown, but will probably be visible to blue team in just a moment here. See miniature shots from the... I'm just gonna double check here. I believe that is from the Snortstoop. And now Ron Tonkin has managed to charge through the sniper fire, not taking too much damage. Balloon is at about health. They may be losing their armor here to one of these Mercury shots. Victor Magnuson is ready with a close range side. If the Magnate's balloon is low, but once they're able to eventually rise up here, they can just smoke the Stormbreaker. As the Ron Tonkin they try very hard to stay on the close range side of the Victor Magnuson, but taking a lot of impact damage in the process, and still go down. It was a nice attempt. It was a nice attempt by the Red Stormbreaker there, but not paying off. Now balloon is down on the Victor Magnuson. They're gonna drop down a bit as it's rebuilt. Dust Rider was able to get a solo kill on the Victor Magnuson at the end of the previous fight, but I doubt it's going to happen again, especially with the Snortstoop here to assist this time. So Dust Rider being forced behind the terrain. to once again wait for the Ron Tonkin to come back in. You know, the one thing we have not seen any utilization of in this match so far, mine launcher on the front of the ship. Ron Tonkin is the one who's been doing all the aggressive posturing here. And I feel like that the strategy they've been pursuing so far has not been working. Red team is just being outgunned at this range. So I feel like if they really want to make if FCD wants to make something happen, Dust Rider needs to find a way to bring that mine launcher into effect, because the Judgment and the Magnate are not going to be able to dodge those mines. They're very slow and they have huge hitboxes, so a few mines could just totally throw the Skyborne Rangers into disarray. However, Dust Rider does get a balloon pop on the Snord Stoop, while Ron Tonkin moves in from the southwest here. Stormbreaker is going for a bit of a split play here as a Snord Stoop loses their armor. Ron Tonkin has not yet picked their target. Oh, and big hits on the Dust Rider. Oh, look at that. Snord Stoop firing the light flak through the two pieces of terrain. And now Dust Rider is in a really bad situation. Ron Tonkin just nowhere to be seen, really. They tried to go for some very creative setups with the ship's positioning, but the coordination was just not quite there. The Dust Rider and Ron Tonkin were too separated in most of those fights. They weren't able to effectively support each other, and as a result, Skyborne Rangers have won this match. They will be moving on to the grand finals to play against Lepidoptera Leviathan.